The digital revolution has rocked the music business for more than a decade, changing the way we buy, play, and discover new music. But it turns out digital technology is leaving an even deeper impression. Increasingly, the data that's created by all of this music streaming, buying, and sharing is influencing the music that's being created. It's all the subject of an article in this month's issue of The Atlantic. And as part of the NewsHour's partnership with them, we took a closer look. I traveled to New York City, which, as loud as ever, is still an important center of the music business. Drummer Zach Danziger of the band Mr. Barrington has played for some of the greatest names of pop, including U2 and Mariah Carey. He now finds, like many consumers, there's almost too much choice in music.
The sheer mass of choices make it hard to actually sometimes dig in and get behind like a particular artist, because you're like, oh, I like that, but I want to hear these other 50.
Writer Derek Thompson spent the last 6 months researching the big data behind the music. So the title of this piece that you've written is the Shazam effect. What does that mean?
Shazam is this magical app that allows people to identify just about any song in the world, up to 30 million songs. And what you do essentially, you hear a song in a bar or in a restaurant or on your television, and you pick up your smartphone and you press a button, and within seconds, the phone has identified the piece of music.
More than 12 years old, this app is ancient in digital terms, predating the smartphone, streaming services, and most of online social media. Shazam was somewhat of an accidental pioneer.
Shazam. So this tool that we use just to discover new music has become a tool that the music industry uses to shape the future pop music. And so that is the Shazam effect.
The company just celebrated its 15th billion Shazam. I met with its CEO, Rich Riley.
If you were to go talk to a record label, they would say that standard internal procedure is to attach Shazam charts to your proposals, because we can really help show when an artist is connecting with the audience.
You're really in a position to predict what's going to be a hit.
And if it moves up the charts, it's a really strong signal for them that they've got a hit.
What they had been quietly building around the world is this seismograph of public opinion about music. Because every single time that somebody in Brooklyn or Atlanta or Hyderabad, India, hears a song that they want to know more about, they press the button and they say, Shazam, tell me what this song is.
It's a very strong signal of love and of intent and of, I want to know what that is.
What that really tells the music industry is that here are the songs that people are most interested in.
I'm zooming into Shazam's hyperlocal charts. And so this is our data showing, it shows where we are in Midtown Manhattan. When you click on the icon, there's the Manhattan chart for right now.
In the process of all this Shazamming, it seems the music we once listened to is now listening to us. And you're saying consumers of music don't really understand.
They're not thinking to themselves, this piece of information is going to fly up into the sky, into the cloud, and the music industry is going to use it to determine the next big hit.
Oh, are we going to make it?
Alex White is doing just that at his company, Next Big Sound.
We built up this enormous data set to understand the trajectory that artists go through from complete obscurity to global superstardom.
The company develops algorithms which literally evaluate every online move fans take, a goldmine for talent scouts and artists themselves.
Within each site, say Instagram for instance, there's 8 different metrics that you can track. Number of photos posted, comments, likes, hearts. So you should pay more attention to this metric or this source because it's a strong leading indicator of your sales.
On our little scale of what we're doing, a similar thing. We look at where people are buying what we're doing, and it does inform us as to, just what our next moves might be.
Never has there been more of a consumer influence in how our charts reflect popular music.
Silvio Pietrolongo is Vice President of Charts and Data Development for Billboard, the original Top 40 specialist.
We used to create our charts based on reports that were called in, but it was really just reported information from retailers and radio programmers as to what they claimed were their biggest songs and albums.
The DJs, the record store owners, had every reason to lie, it turned out, because the DJs were often being paid by the music industry to pitch newer and newer songs.
In 1991, the Billboard Top 100 transitioned from call-in to point-of-sales data.
Almost overnight, hip-hop and country just soared off the charts. And it became very clear that the hitmen on the coast, trying to predict the future of pop music, were missing this urban music and this southern sound.
Another effect of the digital revolution is that an industry once based on turnover has now become more focused on the familiar.
And it's also made the quality of music, the chord progressions inside of music, more derivative. And so the side effect of big data in the music industry has been, I think, to make the product more repetitious.
So how do you explain that people want to hear what they already know rather than having any desire to explore something different?
The evolutionary psychologist's explanation for this is, if I recognize it, it hasn't killed me yet. The vast majority of people, what they want from pop culture is comfort food. They want to be relaxed. They want to turn off their brains.
Some believe all this big data is creating pressure that undermines creativity. Drummer Zach Danziger isn't convinced it does.
I don't buy into the thing that now everything sounds the same, because I think within any genre, it was always that thing of, I want somebody who sounds like that. Get me the next Michael Jackson.
The power of a #1 hit has just exploded. The top 1% of artists now command 77% of all recorded revenue.
It's only in the last year or so that major labels have started hiring research guys, someone whose whole job is to identify promising new talent based on data.
What music can do uniquely is cut through the clutter.
Rich Riley is growing Shazam, moving the app into everything from movies to TV shows, even commercials.
We can share with them, 100,000 people Shazammed your ad. I mean, people love that music, and there's a chance for you to deepen that engagement with that consumer.
With their new customizable search tool, Find, Next Big Sound has come closer than ever to predicting the next big hit.
It's a credit score for your professional career, right?
Like credit scores, the new ratings by big data music companies can be painful to hear.
I don't even want to hear those numbers.
Of course, Taylor Swift comes up in the epic category, but even after 20 years playing with leading musicians, Zach Danziger still rates as undiscovered.
Numbers were always driving the record business, and that won't change, but hopefully creative music making will have an honesty to it despite all that, and I think we're still in a very good place with that.